Hello everyone. Welcome to Every Night a Trip with me, Marbles. Today is a very special episode about love in dreams and in waking life. Happy Valentine's Day! I am so fortunate to have a Valentine's date for the rest of my life. Shout out to the hubby Michael. You're stuck with me. I am crazy in love, but I'm also crazy annoyed because I had recorded all this. I have to redo it all. I hope I don't sound too annoyed. Oh, I am tired. I am rushing to get this out by tomorrow. Okay, sorry. It's just, wah. Today, I want to share with y'all the story of how I met Michael. One day, I was lonely and I thought I needed someone to keep me company. So, I was just there, outside, and I thought, well, if a guy walks past me, I'm gonna ask him to go out with me. So this guy did pass by, and I knew him, and I was like, nah, he has way too many siblings, and annoying siblings at that. Then another guy walked past, and I knew where he lived. He lived on a street that had lots of dogs, lots of mean dogs. So I was like, I'm good. Then another person walked by, and that person was Michael. I knew him. He didn't have any annoying siblings. There weren't scary dogs on his street. So I decided to go up to him and ask him, hey, wanna hang out? Okay, so that didn't happen to me. That was my parents' story. That is how my dad found my mom. Even though he knew her, but basically that's how he picked her. My story is a bit different. So let's jump right in. You ready? Okay, here goes. Once upon a time, there was a day. And that day was May 2nd in the year of 2014. I had a dream about a guy who I had seen around school before. I had never paid him any attention. I just knew him as a guy who would always be near this friend I had back in the day. And I also knew him as a guy that always wore like a purple sweater and a crossbody messenger type of bag. After high school, he sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I added him just cause that's what you did. You added people. I honestly don't remember adding him. He was just there on my friends list for a while. We didn't interact with each other at all. And then one random night, my brain decided to have a dream about him. In the dream, I was at a yard sale. It didn't have much, just like a small bookshelf. And I was the only person there looking at books. I think actually I was the only person there. Anyways, it started to rain, and then a car pulled up next to the driveway, and Michael came out holding an umbrella. He walked over to me, and he put it over me, and then we just walked away together. Nothing was said, and that was basically it. So me being me, as in me, a person that loves to share their dreams, if you're in them, you're gonna know. I'm gonna be like, hey, you were in my dreams last night. This and this happened. So I messaged Michael on Facebook and I told him, hey, I don't really know you, but you were in my dream last night. Sorry for being random. He asked me what he was doing in my dreams, and so I told him that he was just walking towards me with an umbrella and that it was raining. He asked, why me? And I told him, I don't know. I don't even know you. And yeah, the pictures in here are our initial messages, so you can see for yourself. But yeah, we texted here and there for like a month, saying really random things. It was a conversation to get to know each other. Like, you could tell we were just bored. We were just asking each other what we were doing and just saying random things. I sent him a picture of a tomato that I had cut, and yeah, really I'd be the one just randomly messaging. His answers, his replies would be pretty short. And that might have been the reason why I stopped texting him, because of his short answers, because I thought maybe I was bothering him. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it had to do with my ex, who would get jealous when I would even talk to my best friend. He would get upset at me, so maybe that might have been the reason why I stopped messaging Michael. But yeah, flash forward to July of 2015, a little over a year later, and I was bored again. So I was just going through my Facebook messages, and I noticed that I never replied to Michael. I felt bad, and I was bored, so I randomly messaged him again, not really expecting a reply, but he answered. And here's our little conversation then. It was me telling him that I had forgotten to reply. I apologize. No, I didn't apologize. And that it had been a year since talking to him. And he jokingly said that it hurt his feelings. And I told him that I did want to hurt his feelings, so next time I won't reply for 2 years. After that, the wheels kept turning. Is that the expression? The ball kept rolling. The pages kept flipping. Whatever. I don't know what it was. That time when we talked, it wasn't just to pass the time. That time was to actually get to know each other. And we found out that we had a lot of mutual interests, one of them being video games, especially Fallout, which is one of my favorites. But yeah, we kept talking and talking, and at the time, I was still with a jealous boyfriend. Let's call him Greasefire. I wasn't going to allow him to keep me from making friends, because at that time, I felt like I didn't have many friends, so I kept talking to Michael, and I eventually found out that one of his best friends, Carlos, was also one of my best friends. Like, I had no idea. They were both in the grade behind me, so I only had Carlos in one class, and that class had like a mix of students in different grades, so I didn't exactly know who Carlos's group of friends was in his grade. But yeah, once I found out that they were friends, I was like, okay, let's all hang out. So we hung out a few times. I was still with Greasefire, but the more I talked to Michael, the further I felt away from him. In a way, I had felt like Greasefire had me tied down, and then Michael came along with scissors, and he cut that rope. He made me realize that there were a lot of things wrong in that relationship, and yeah, eventually I broke things off with Greasefire, and I never felt so free. And then when Michael and I started hanging out, just us as friends, it was just something I would never forget. The first time we hung out, just the two of us, I just felt like the blinds were opened, the clouds dispersed. I felt like the sun came out, the birds started chirping. He was unlike any other person I had met, at least guys-wise. When I hung out with Michael and our little friends group, he would make me laugh. Just his interactions with his friends, like, he was funny, he was smart. I wouldn't really be interacting with them. I was just kind of like creeping behind them, just being in my own little world. But I liked being around all of them and just listening to their conversations, just being in their company. But yeah, when it was just me and Michael, nothing changed. Like, the person that he portrayed himself to be in front of his friends was exactly who he was with me. He was so funny, he was so smart, he was so nice. And the thing that really got me, though, was his smile and his laughter. It was just so genuine and pure. It filled my heart with happiness. I mean, so did his handsome face, but I'm more about what's on the inside type of person anyways. Just his beautiful face was a plus, not gonna lie. Anyways, soon after that, we started dating. And then I eventually met his mom, and she made me feel very welcomed in her house too. I felt like I was exactly where I needed to be. And 11 years later, after first sending the message to Michael of, hey, you were in my dreams, I still feel like I am where I need to be, with him. I often think hard about things like fate and destiny because of Michael. I ask myself, what if I never had that dream of him? What if I never told him that I had that dream of him? What if he never replied to me? What if I never went back after I ignored his message for a year? What if we didn't click? What if it was just the thrill of meeting someone new? What if there was no light and nothing wrong, nothing right? What if I got it wrong and no poem or song? Would I have never met him officially? I say officially because, again, I had seen him around school, but I never paid attention to him, and I would have never gone out of my way to talk to him, and then Greasefire wouldn't have allowed me to do that anyways. But I also think about the content in the dreams, and it's just so weird. Everything is, like, every component of a dream. And yes, ta-da, it's a surprise dream analysis. Well, kind of. I grew up thrifting with my parents, and I found out that Michael and his grandpa, they would go thrifting too when he was a kid. Those are some of his fondest memories of his grandpa when they would go thrifting. I told my mom this a while ago, and she was like, oh, so you might have met him before, just passing by. So then the books in my dreams, the fact that I was looking for books at that yard sale in my dreams. When I was a kid, I read a lot, and I enjoyed it. But then I stopped for reasons, mostly because of school, homework, depression, grief, grease fire, just mostly that. But yeah, looking back at part of that dream, I take that as symbolism. Like the dream me looking at books, it symbolized the real me wanting to be that person that used to read, the person that had more free time, the person that was happy. Because I only read when I was happy and when I had free time. But yeah, then the rain in the dream, that represented tears and sadness. And that's kind of self-explanatory. I have been through a lot. I mean, who hasn't? But there's been a lot of grief in my life, a lot of hard feelings, bad relationship. So there's been rain. And that's what that symbolizes. And then along came Michael with an umbrella to stop me from getting wet. And just thinking about that makes me really emotional. And I think of it from today's perspective. Like I already told y'all what I thought of it when I first had it. I thought it was random, and I was confused on why I had it. It was just a random guy or random dream. But thinking about it today, after being with Michael for almost 8 years, I see it as something kind of magical. Like, I've had plenty of hard days, and there's bound to be more hard days. Something out there was telling me that I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be stuck in the rain alone. Like, Michael's gonna be there. He's gonna be holding that umbrella over my head. He won't stop the rain. He can't stop the rain. But he'll be there to provide some type of protection from whatever storm life brings. He'll be there with me. He'll be there for me. And I am so lucky to have met this guy for real. I truly think he is my soulmate. And well, he literally is the man of my dreams. I just love him so much. And I am thankful that I had that dream. Because who knows? What if I didn't? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the story of how I met him. My wonderful husband, Michael. And I hope it helps y'all understand why dreams mean so much to me and why I take them so seriously. Well, some I can't, but I pay attention, I remember, I share, and look what I get. Sometimes I get weird stares and just like, okay, weird. Why do I care about what you dream? But look, I got Michael. Anyways, before I go, I'd like to add a part of another dream I had on the 5th of this month, because it was just a weird experience. Basically, I was in a moving van or a bus. I was supposed to get off at a stop, but this guy told me that the bus doesn't stop, that you have to wait till the bus gets close enough to wherever you want to go, and then you just jump out. The bus doesn't stop, it doesn't slow down, so if you don't jump out, you're gonna miss where you want to land. So the guy that told me all that, he jumped out, and then my friend Manny, they jumped out, and then it was my turn. But I hesitated because I saw them jump and then they just rolled, and I wasn't sure if they were okay, but I was kind of panicking, like, okay, I'm gonna miss my stop. So I jumped, but I never landed. I woke up to me lunging myself onto Michael. So yeah, that was one of the most bizarre sleep experiences I've ever had. Cause like, was I gonna die? If I jumped out? I woke myself up so that I wouldn't die? I don't know. When I woke up, my heart was pounding so fast. And it woke Michael up too. And he was just like, what? I wanted to explain to him what happened, but I was just so startled and confused. And by the time I was able to say anything, when my heart had calmed down a little, he was already back to snoring. So, yeah, I called him my hero that morning because he stopped me from falling on the floor. If I had been on the outside of the bed, I would have fallen on the floor. If I had been facing the wall, I don't know. That would have been funny. I would have thudded my head against the wall. But yeah, anyways, I enjoyed sharing my story with y'all. And Michael, I know you're listening. I love you so much. Thank you for being my hero the other night, and my hero all those years ago. I can't imagine what would have happened had I not met you, and had you not replied, and had you not liked me. You are my peace. You are my soulmate. Thank you so much for everything. Happy Valentine's Day. Sorry guys if y'all are cringing or feel like puking, but it is what it is. Valentine's Day. Anyways, thank you for listening to this wonderful love story of mine. Thank you. May y'all find your eternal Valentine. If you don't have one yet, just ask someone. They might say yes. How can you know it if you don't even try? Yes, today's related song is What If by Coldplay. Check it out if you don't know it. Anyways, we reached the end again. I hope you have a nice, wonderful day filled with love and stuffed animals and chocolates and balloons and roses and cakes and cookies and eggs and everything else in between. Yeah, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Spread the love, the world needs it, and you can show me some love by liking and sharing this. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace. Marbles out.